Logistics is the lifeblood of a country's economy. Whether by land, sea, or air, logistics supports the physical movement of goods, trade across borders, and commerce within borders, according to the World Bank. It also defined logistics as an array of activities: transportation, warehousing, brokerage, express delivery, terminal operations, and related data and information management. In 2018, the Department of Trade and Industry saw the critical importance of ensuring an efficient supply chain and included transport and logistics as one of the priority industry sectors under the Inclusive Innovation Industrial Strategy. With the government's focus on cost, speed, and reliability, Secretary Lopez's declared policy was to reduce logistics costs and ensure that customers get the right product at the right time in a reliable manner. To achieve these goals, collaboration with the private sector was key. That collaboration produced a blueprint that defined strategies to achieve growth. Known as the 10 Commitments of the Philippine Logistics Services Sector, the document contained 10 priorities agreed among the DTI, DOTR, and 10 logistics associations. With the LSPH platform created and several programs implemented, there are now 16 associations that the DTI collaborates with. After 4 years, here is a look at what we have done in keeping with these 10 commitments. Commitment 1. We supported innovations that address gaps in the supply and value chain, such as Deliver E and Project Deploy. A transport and logistics cost model was completed to identify the cost of transporting commodities from the factory to consumers. To ensure a globally competitive logistics services sector, DTI developed Philippine national standards on road freight transportation and international shipping, consistent with international standards. Logistics cost over sales was reduced from 27.2% in 2017 to 25.5% in 2020. Commitment 2. We have tackled several issues and proposed solutions. Truckers raised their concerns on pass-through fees, truck bans, questionable traffic violations, overstaying containers, customs procedures, congestion, fixers, and collection of illegal fees. Commitment 3. LSPH became the platform for genuine dialogue between the government and the private sector. The pandemic boosted policymakers' appreciation of the importance of logistics, and the challenges posed by COVID-19 further strengthened the partnership between DTI and the logistics services sector. Notable was the resounding message of Secretary Ramon M. Lopez when he rallied the government to support the policy of unimpeded movement of cargo.
Sometime mid-March 2020, we experienced the COVID-19 lockdown. Luckily for us, the DTI LSPH was already in place.
What could have been a difficult process of ensuring the continuous flow of goods from the farmers and manufacturers to the consumers was made easier due to the fast coordination between the LSPH stakeholders and the public sector as facilitated by DTI.
Through LSPH, para sa ating IATF ay talaga na-represent tayo ron, and yung ating unhampered movement of goods and essential products ay nangyari.
Commitment 4. DTI initiated the LSPH project Streamlining. Phase 1 completed the inventory of permits for cold storage, customs brokerage, domestic sea shipping, freight forwarding, trucking, and warehousing sectors. This is the first step to cut down regulatory requirements, procedures, and costs, and help businesses in starting, growing, or closing their business. Commitment 5. Under the Build for Tomorrow campaign, the DTI, DOTR, and TPA successfully secured a 550 million peso budget under the 2022 General Appropriations Act for the development of the Sorsogon-Roro Terminal Expansion Project. No less than the President underscored the importance of this government investment when he included this in his budget message. Commitment 6. When the proposed Joint Administrative Order on addressing the issue of high international shipping charges failed, the DTI, DOTR, and the Logistics Services Sector worked with Congress for a longer-term solution. The House of Representatives passed, on third and final reading, the International Maritime Trade Competitiveness Act, which calls for the development of a long-term national logistics strategy that will establish an integrated transport and logistics sector for the efficient and timely movement of goods. Marina was to be designated as the regulatory body to supervise local charges of international shipping lines. Commitment 7. The issuance of JAO 20-01 averted the potential port congestion at the height of the pandemic. The roles of DA, DTI, DOF, BOC, and PPA were defined, and strict processing times were outlined or reduced. A regulatory impact assessment was also initiated to review the permits of LTFRB and PEZA. This resulted in longer validity for LTFRB Provisional Authority and PEZA Letter of Authority, reduced requirements, and simpler processes. Commitment 8. We worked with the World Bank in establishing the Logistics Observatory, where information resources are available for use by all stakeholders in its business decisions. Commitment 9. Prior to the pandemic, during the first LSPH conference and exhibition in 2018, experts estimated a total of 530 billion pesos in investment opportunities in aviation, trucking, shipping, container yards, cold storage, and warehouses. The DTI completed the Philippine Warehouse and Storage Sectoral Study to identify gaps and opportunities for private investments. With the recent enactment of Republic Act 11659, or the Act amending the Public Service Act, DTI is optimistic about generating more foreign investments in the sector, as these will generate employment, introduce innovation, lower prices, and improve quality of goods and services. Commitment 10. Inspired by the Singapore model, but contextualized under Philippine setting, DTI crafted the first ever Philippine Skills Framework, focusing on supply chain and logistics. Capacity building initiatives were conducted and a partnership with TESDA was forged for the formulation of training regulations and provision of free trainings for the reskilling and upskilling of logistics and supply chain workers. From 2019 to 2021, a total of 759.73 billion peso approved investments of foreign and Filipino nationals in the transport and storage sector were generated, exceeding the estimate made by the private sector in 2018. In terms of employment, there were 3.1 million employed Filipinos in the transportation and storage sector as of January 2022. Much has been achieved in the last 4 years. We influenced policies and implemented training programs, financial assistance, and streamlining. We engaged in problem solving and contributed in providing solutions to issues. Yet, much more needs to be done. The work will continue for as long as necessary to strengthen the logistics services sector and help grow the economy. To this end, we shall together continue in transforming the Philippine Logistics Services Sector as an efficient enabler of the manufacturing, agriculture, and service industries.
The aim to have a globally competitive logistics sector is one that every nation should have.
The LSPH project has brought about the awareness of the benefits accruable from a cooperative endeavor between government agencies and the private sector.
Proper venue to contribute by giving our comments and suggestions that will help the industry, which is one of the prime movers of our economy.
The streamlining process will result in a more effective and efficient delivery of government service.
It contributed a lot to the efficient service of logistics system.
Napakadaming bagay ang na-discuss natin, na-trace out ang mga problema.
We have never experienced such kind of assistance and recognition.
It had been quite a while, since the last time that somebody from the government really took time, to look after our sector.
What used to be a fragmented transport, logistics, logistics and supply chain sector is now a united group.
And that's a great sign of collaboration between private and government partners.
The survival of nations in this highly competitive business and economic environment can only be anchored on the vision that DTI created under these 10 commitments.
It sets the tone for an honest-to-goodness public-private sector involvement as a vital component in ensuring the Philippines can be as fiercely competitive as their ASEAN counterparts.
Pagtulungan po natin ito, isulong natin ang logistics education para sa pag-unlad pa ng ating bansa.
Good luck to our future endeavors. Mabuhay ang LSPH.